welcome to Absolute Crunch Fitness. My name is Caroline Elliott. Is your butt moving south but you're not? That is one of the top concerns that a lot of my female clients come to me with. They say, I want a perky butt. Well, two things happen. In your late 30s, early 40s, women notice one of two things. They notice either their butt is getting wider or their butt is getting lower. And I'm not going to lie to you, genetics does play a role in the shape of your butt. However, the good news is that it is a muscle. So by just incorporating a few basic moves into your already existing workout, you can actually help shape and train your butt and have a firm, perky booty, which is what most women want. Now, the thing to remember is that, as I mentioned before, your butt is an actual muscle, and it is made up of several different muscle groups. So, just to go back to some basic anatomy, you have your gluteus minimus, which is the small muscle here that sits up on top, which is right up where your hip joint is. You have the gluteus maximus, which is the main muscle that we all are aware of here, which forms the bigger part of our derriere. We also have the piriformis, which is down here below, which feeds into the iliobuccal band, which goes down the side of your leg and helps hold and structure your quad muscle. So the moves that we're going to be doing today are going to incorporate all of those areas that I just mentioned, because these exercises aren't also going to help your butt, they're also going to help your legs and keep you strengthened, because everything is interconnected. Now, as I mentioned, this area is muscle, and just like every part of your body, you have to train it. And it amazes me how many people actually neglect that part of the body. They're always focused on their abs, they're always focused on their arms, they want the big guns, they want the big shoulders. The thing is that you've got to focus on all areas of your body to have the correct form. And when I say form becomes extremely important as well. You're going to find out as we go through these exercises that you want to make sure, and there's nothing wrong with watching yourself in a mirror as well, that you have the correct form. Because if you don't, you can do a million squats. And if you don't have the right form, you're not going to see any difference. If you do them right, I guarantee you that you will see a difference in as little as 2 to 3 weeks. So what we're going to do first, and it's very important to do this, is you got to stretch it out. So I like to do these exercises after I've already warmed up somewhat. Now when I say that, I mean you want to have done some cardio. You maybe want to have done a few cardio or heart targeting exercises to get your metabolism going. By that point, your body will be warmed up enough and you're not going to be worrying about pulling muscles in the back of your legs. But the one thing to start with is doing just a basic toe touch. So all you're going to do is stand like this and pretend your hip is a hinge. And all you're going to do is stand up straight and just bend over, just like this, and just hang. So the more warmed up you are and the more flexible you are, the more you'll be able to touch your toes. If I was really warmed up and was doing this at the end of my workout, I'd be able to stretch right down and touch my toes. But you just want to hang there. And you're going to feel the stretch here in the back of your calf muscles and also your hamstrings. So that's just loosening up the back of your legs, and you'll feel it go up into the back of your butt as well. The other thing you want to do is you want to stretch out your quads and your hips. So you want to just go like this and just do a basic lunge stretch. It's very important not to bounce. You want to just make sure that you're just doing this, and you're going to feel this in 3 areas. You're going to feel it in your quad muscles, you're going to feel it in your hamstrings, and you're going to feel it in your butt. And just sit there. And you can hold this for 8-10 seconds, come back up, and then do the next one. Just like that. And what that's doing is just giving your legs a nice stretch before you start your workout. The other thing that you want to do is you want to open up your hip joints, because that's extremely important with some of the exercises that we're going to be doing. So you want to do hip flexors. Now, you can do 8 of these on each side if you want, and this actually feels great. What it's doing is it's opening up your hip joint. And if you're like me and you got to sit a lot or do a lot of driving, your hip and your lower back tend to be very stiff. The one thing that you want to do is, even if you're sitting all day, get up and walk around, do these in the office. Buy yourself an exercise ball and sit on it for 20 minutes a day at your desk. You'd be surprised at how much it helps with your hips. So by doing this is one of the main things that will help open up your butt muscles and get them warmed up and ready to do some exercises. So one of the first exercises we're going to do is one that I'm sure everybody is very well aware of. And it's called a walking lunge. But we're going to incorporate something else into it too, just to give you a bit of a mix. So with a walking lunge, basically what you want to have barbells in your hand. And really, the one thing that you want to do is make sure that you're balanced. If you do this without barbells, you're going to find that it's going to be a lot harder if you're not used to doing this exercise. So one of the things we're going to do first, though, is we're going to do some testing of strength. Now, I've only got 8 pounds in my hands, and that's all you really need. The stronger you get, the more heavier weight you're going to use. So one of the things that we're going to do is you're going to start like this, and you want to keep your shoulders back, and all you're simply going to do is go down like this, just like that. Now, you're going to notice 2 things that I'm doing. I am straight back, my back is straight, and I'm not going over top of my knee. The proper way to do this is to look straight ahead, do it nice and slow and controlled, and do not come over top of your knee. You want to make sure that you're sitting back with the move. And the barbells are helping me, because if I didn't have barbells, I'd be going like this. The barbells are just like a balance. So what you're working here is your upper legs, your hamstrings, and your back. So you're going to notice all of that. You're going to feel it in your butt as well. So that's the walking lunge. Now, the other thing is you can actually incorporate what's called a reverse lunge into this. Now, a reverse lunge is simply this. You come back and step up. You go down, and you pop back up. Go down, pop back up. So the movement is not so much on the forward, it's coming back. Because what you want to kind of do is you want to spring back up like that. And that's putting more emphasis on your glutes. So it's called a reverse lunge. So you come just back like that. So that's the second part of that exercise. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to actually do a bit of test of strength. We're going to actually test and see. This is a very, very easy minor test to see actually how strong your hips and your glutes are. So one of the things you can do is stand up straight, put your hands up over your head, bend your left leg. Now, it's just bent simply like this. That's all you're going to do. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to lean over like this. Now, if I have strong hips and strong glutes, when I do this, just like this, the only part of my body that should move is my waist and my upper body. You shouldn't see any movement in my hips. My hips should not dip. Same thing on this side. So if you've got really strong upper legs, strong joint, strong hip joint, strong glutes, nothing should move. Now, if I was not strong in my lower body, my hip would dip because I wouldn't have the muscle to hold it up. So if you find your hip joint is dipping when you do that, do it in front of a mirror and you can see it. It will tell you very quickly whether or not your lower body is strong enough to hold you up. That's how you test your hip joints and test your glute muscles. So you can do that first before you start these exercises, but it'll give you a good idea of where you are in your basic fitness. Now, one of the other things that we're going to do is we're going to do a basic squat with barbells. Now everybody knows what a squat is. So the trick to doing squats with barbells is, and again, you don't need heavy barbells to do it, but you can do just a basic squat, shoulder width apart, just like that. Just simply like that. Again, you want to be shoulder width apart with your feet, keep your back straight, and just come down like that. And you're going to feel that in your upper legs and your butt. Now, what I mentioned earlier about form is something very, very important. The whole movement, I'm going to do this sideways, you can see it. The whole movement of a squat is all about form. You want to do the move as if you're sitting into a chair. So the basic squat is just this, just like that. But if I do it in slow motion, it's my butt out first, because I'm going to sit down in my chair, and then I go down. So butt first, and then sit. Everybody does this, and that's not going to do anything. All that's going to do is give you big thunder thighs, and most people don't want that. Remember, this is what we're focused on. So what you want to do, and put a chair behind you if you want. Put a chair, put a ball behind you, because the best thing to learn this move is actually to do it with a chair behind you, because the whole motion is, oh, I'm going to sit down in my chair. Think about what you do when you go to sit down in your chair. You stick your butt out and you sit down. So again, that's the move that you want to incorporate. And when you do that, you'll feel the difference. So any moves that you're doing, the next step is going to be a prayer squat. Prayer squat is just like this. Keep your feet just slightly shoulder width apart, just like that. Put your hands like this. You can see my butt goes out first, and then I squat. Butt first, squat. Butt first, squat. Just like that. That is the form. If you get that form down, I'm telling you, you will have the butt that you want. And as far as repetitions, I would start out doing 3 sets of 8. If you're intermediate already and you want to just focus on that area, do 3 sets of 12. And because we're doing resistance, we're not really using weights. This is something that, you can do as many reps as you want, but you'll know when that muscle gets tired. Second one we're going to do, as far as using the Swiss ball, is a really good one. And what you're going to do is you want to make sure you've got the 55 centimeter ball, the bigger one, and have a yoga mat. And what we're going to do is you're simply going to lie down on the mat. Make sure your feet, like right now I've just got my heels on the top of the ball with my calf muscles, and my hands, so you want to try and make sure that your lower back is touching the mat, and you want to make sure you're in the center of the ball, just like this. Hands are down flat, head's flat, and you're going to do this. So you're doing a raise. You want to put your heels down, push down with your heels on the ball, and lift up very slowly your butt. Now, 2 things you got to do when you're doing this. You've got to contract your abs because you're holding this ball so it won't move, and squeeze in your butt muscles. So when I'm coming up into the top position, I'm squeezing my butt when I'm doing that, and that's the movement. So it's keeping my abs tight when I do it, and I'm focusing on keeping that ball there, because right now, if I move my feet, that ball's going to go away. So that's the move. And I'm telling you, you will feel that. So you want to, again, I would say do 3 sets of 8 of that. And it's a great one, but it's better to use the larger ball because you'll notice a bigger difference. Other one that we're going to do is medicine ball. Now, we've used this before, those of you who have seen these videos. Now, this is basically a 6-pound, 2.7 kilo ball. You buy these at pretty much any store. And you don't need a heavy ball. I suggest 4 to 6 pound is all you need for any type of exercise, because you're going to be using this in a movement-oriented exercise, so you really don't want to strain your arms when you do this. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a medicine ball squat. So I like to do kind of combination moves. So what we're going to do is you're going to start out just like this, shoulder width apart, keep the ball, and a good idea is to have the logo facing you. So whatever you have on your ball, keep that at your chest. So you want to be looking at the logo. So you want to be keeping that at chest level, okay? You go down into your squat, like I was telling you, okay? And then up, down into the squat, up, down into the squat, up, down into the squat, up. Always start at your chest, down, up. If I turn this way, chest level, down into my squat, reach up, down into my squat, reach up. Just like that. I guarantee you, if you do 3 sets of 8 of those, you will definitely feel it. And it's also going to get your heart rate going too, so you might want to do this one first, because again, that's what's going to get your heart rate going, keep your metabolism up. One of the other things that you may want to consider doing for your legs, again, is also